Now we're going to move on to the top part of our art project here. So I have a yellow piece of paper, which very much could resemble the sun if we cut it into a circle, or a white piece of paper, which could easily be used for a cloud. So I'm just going to use these pieces of scrap paper that I have lying around the clinic to make a sun. So the easiest way for us to do that is to put down this circle right here that we have from our puzzle, and we can hold it down with our non-dominant hand and trace all the way around it. Another one that I like to use is a stencil that I have here at the clinic, and just kind of picking whatever size sun you want. Let's say we're working on some cutting skills later, and I want to have enough space. We're going to use this one here, so I'm just going to use this stencil here, holding it with my non-dominant hand. The stencil acts as a tactile cue so that I understand my physical boundary here as I'm creating my circle. If you don't require a stencil, maybe you can use some sort of dotted lines so that your kid can then trace around the dotted lines, or maybe they're copying shapes. You can have a shape already made for them, and then you would identify the circle as such and complete the circle as a copied version. Now that we have our circle drawn for the sun, I'm going to go ahead and use this side. It's a little nicer. That was the stencil side. We're going to go back to the scissors. So we're using our non-dominant hand, really supporting the child underneath the forearm here with the non-dominant hand, and maybe providing a little bit of support here on the bottom of the scissor side too as well, so that we're going to use our fine motor skills more because we have postural support. As we cut, we're looking for the non-dominant hand and the dominant hand to start kind of turning over. So we call this pronation of the forearms. And we're really looking for both hands to work together so that they turn over together to cut out this shape here, the circle. If you are learning how to use scissors, we want to go back to using a tactile cue, maybe this nice wood piece right here so that we don't cut our fingers as we go ahead and cut around the circle. Again, we're working on some good bilateral coordination skills as we're developing these fine motor scissor use skills. Now that we have our sun drawn and cut out, we want to move on to the cloud. So this is another opportunity for us to work on some pre-writing strokes. Maybe we want to do a horizontal stroke this time. So I'm going to add a visual cue. So we draw from one dot to the other, and then we're going to do some ascending and descending strokes. So we're going to go up and then back down. And that'll be our basic cloud shape. If you want to do more complex of a shape, you can kind of use whatever arcing pen stroke you would like to create any shape cloud. It really just matters on kind of the complexity of your cutting skills and how developed they are, if you feel comfortable working your scissors in and out of these shapes right here. So pick whatever's best for your child. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and just use this simple shape right here. I'm using good bilateral coordination skills with my non-dominant hand and my dominant hand. I'm using this pair of scissors here to develop my visual motor integration skills as I functionally cut along this line right here. And again, I'm going to go ahead and focus now, as we're doing the ascending and descending arcs, on the pronation of my forearms here. So that I'm not just cutting in straight lines. We want to be able to use these scissors with round shapes and ascending and descending arcs. So I'm using my non-dominant hand. I'm pronating my forearm. I'm turning it over as I turn this puzzle piece, or excuse me, the shape right here. So I cut it out. All right. Now that I have that, we can easily put our cloud there. For the sake of this picture, I'm going to go ahead and use my other shape that I cut out. And again, we're going to go ahead and use this opportunity to work on some vertical smooth pursuits. You know, we don't have to do all 10 of our vertical pursuits at the same time. Any way we can get them is a good way. So we're going to keep our visual field elongated. I'm going to have my target up here on the top and our pieces down here at the bottom. I also have these cool animal stickers, the same foam stickers with the adhesive backs, and some extra paper. So I figured I'd go ahead and make another one with a different scene. So we're going to get the city out of the way, and we're going to move outdoors now. So we're going to keep the same light blue backdrop. This time I have green paper, so I figured we can go ahead and make this grass. We're gonna go ahead and take our glue stick and put it back together, and then use it to glue down our grass on the paper. We're using our non-dominant hand to stabilize the paper as we use our dominant hand to manipulate an object. Here in this case it's the glue stick. Alright, we got that all squared away. And then we're going to elongate the visual field, put our target here at the top, and we're going to use our paper here at the bottom. We're going to scan for our target at the top, developing our nice visual smooth pursuits vertically. And then we're going to move on to some water. I have just literally scrap paper, and it happens to be about the right length, so I'm going to put my paper down here at the bottom. This time I'm going to move on to a different glue. I think I'm running out of glue sticks, so I'm going to develop some nice grip and grasp strength as I use graded muscle force to use just the right amount of glue. I don't want to squeeze it too hard. I don't want to squeeze it too lightly. So this is a good opportunity. If your kid is squeezing a little bit too hard, maybe just twist the cap down so not as much comes out, but they can still get all of the proprioceptive input that they're seeking. If your kid is squeezing too lightly, open the cap up all the way so the glue just kind of flows out with just a little squeeze. We're going to go ahead and just use this larger one. Again, if your child is developing his or her fine motor skills and requires a little assistance, you can go ahead and start the sticker process for them before they pick it up. It's always good to put the puzzle piece or the sticker, excuse me. It's always good to put the sticker on the table so that they have to develop their fine motor skills in order to pick it up. So we're going to be using kind of our pincer grasp again to pick up the sticker. We're going to use another pincer grasp and some good bilateral coordination to take the sticker off. And again, we're going to use our non-dominant hand to stabilize the paper and our dominant hand to manipulate the object. This elephant is going to be in the water, hanging out, getting a drink. And the same thing with this turtle. I'm going to scan back down, get some good vertical visual pursuits downward. Get my sticker. I'm going to find a good place for this turtle. Use my pincer grasp there. Some good opposition between the thumb and index finger. Peel off that sticker. Stabilize your paper. And place your turtle down there by the river. And I'm going to go ahead and complete this picture here with an alligator. Get my good fine motor skills and some bilateral coordination again as I put the alligator at the bottom, hanging out by the turtle and the elephant. And a smaller piece would be good to add to the equation here as well, just that we are working on a little bit of this manual dexterity as we go through with this sticker process here. So I'm going to get this one off. There we go. And the ship is in the water. Alright. And then we can move on to other parts of the picture. In this case, I already have some pre-made clouds. These ones are kind of wispy. I'm going to keep my visual field elongated. And I'm going to keep my clouds here at the bottom. Again, we're going to develop our graded muscle force here with this particular glue. If your kid really wants to squeeze it a lot, maybe tighten up the top part so not as much comes out. So you can still kind of squeeze it. Hey, that wasn't enough. There you go. I'm going to stabilize it as we squeeze the glue bottle. Stabilize the cloud as we go around, developing some nice grip and grasp strength with our dominant hand. We're going to move back to our bilateral coordination, stabilizing the paper, putting our cloud up here, and then we're going to scan back down using our good vertical visual pursuit skills to find our other cloud, which we will then scan back up for, visually pursuing for our target up here. And we can easily make another sun just by drawing another circle and by cutting it out, developing some good bilateral coordination skills as we use both hands together, pronating the forearms, turning around, making our circle there, and then again back to the glue. We're going to develop our grip and grasp strength as we work on this art project, and our pincer grasp to pick up our sun, and we're going to put this sun right there. Again, if your kid really seeks the proprioceptive input, decrease the flow of the valve of your glue so that they really squeeze it as hard as they want, just to get a little bit of glue. If they're maybe not seeking that proprioceptive input and their grip is just a little bit light, open that valve up all the way so the glue flows out. If you completed the art project and you are still seeking some visual motor integration or some visual perception and fine motor skills development, you can use this piece of paper as now a writing template. So you can turn this into a card, or simply just add a little title to it to give it a little bit of meaning. So we're gonna say we're gonna draw a nice line across there so that they have a boundary for their title, and we're gonna work on our writing skills. Maybe we trace it, maybe we copy it, or if you have the ability, maybe you compose your own title with some assistance for spelling, that sort of thing. We're going to say this is going to be called Today at the River. So again, we've turned something as simple as a day with sticker use into an extended activity with multiple different art projects here, and working on the whole time we're working on these great bilateral coordination skills. We're really developing a lot of fine motor skills with either writing or cutting or some of the pre-writing strokes, and we're developing our visual motor skills by having an elongated visual field. Or you can go horizontally too if you wanted to go from left to right or right to left, developing those horizontal smooth pursuits. You can do that. And we're using our tools, our scissors, our markers, our pencils, etc., to develop our visual motor integration skills. So remember, if your kid requires some assistance, make sure you're providing enough postural support on the forearms so that your child has the ability to use their arms to develop the fine motor skills, and they're not having to worry about stabilizing their arm or using gross motor skills to complete the fine motor tasks. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.